Do not forget that fools also grow old. Hi everyone, I trust you are doing great. It's your friend and brother here. Alright, so I have a puzzling question to ask, which at the same time I will attempt to provide the answer, but feel free to share your thoughts with me. Alright, so here's the question. Should we at all times obey our elders simply because of their age, simply because they have the gray hair to show for it, because of their experience? Should we at all times obey our elders? So that's the question. But here's my thought. First of all, we must understand that there is a clear-cut difference between obedience and respect. Respect is what we owe everyone, regardless of whether or not we are older than them. Respect is what you owe your elders, regardless of whether or not they practice the same religion as you, whether they are believers, whether they are unbelievers, whether they are Christians, they are Muslims, they are Hindus, or whatever. Respect is what you owe everyone. But when it comes to the matter of obedience, obedience is what you owe God and those that are led by God. So you don't just obey people, or let me say elders, simply because they are elders. Not at all. Obedience is subjective. It is subject to the type of instruction that is given and not just necessarily tied to age or experience. I'm going to cite a Bible example for you. If you read the book of 1 Kings chapter 13, 11 to 25, or if you want, you can read from verse 1 through 25. So this was the story of the young prophet and the old prophet. So God had sent the young prophet on an errand, and he had given him an instruction to go with. The first instruction was, on no account should you go back in the same way that you came. Secondly, don't enter into any man's house. And thirdly, don't dine with anybody. So those were the three instructions given to the young prophet. So after what transpired between him and King Jeroboam offered to invite him to his house to maybe, have lunch. But the young prophet remembered the instruction, and he said to the king, he protested and said, God had instructed me to not go back in the same way I came. Secondly, to not dine with anybody and to not enter into any man's house. So he overcame, all right? But when he got to the old prophet also offered to have him come to his house to dine. So he also remembered the instruction that was given to him. But the old prophet protested and said, no, God also spoke to me that I should have you come to the house. So I strongly believe that there were a lot of things that played out in that scripture or in that scenario, all right? I strongly believe he considered a lot of factors, that this guy is an old prophet. He has been in ministry before me. He knows more than me. He even hears from God more than me. So you see, he forgot about what he heard from God simply because an elder who did not hear from God lied to him that he heard from God. I strongly believe he considered his age. He also considered the fact that he was his senior in ministry. Do not forget that the Bible referred to him as old, quote unquote, and prophet, quote unquote. So he was old and he was a prophet. So it was almost impossible for the young prophet not to believe him. So he obeyed the old prophet and disobeyed God. And you know the rest of the story. He didn't get home. He died on his way home, simply because he disobeyed God. So you don't just obey people, or let me say elders, simply because they are elders. Not at all. Do not forget that fools also grow old. Unbelievers also grow old. Sinners also grow old. Evil people also grow old. So the question is, how many old people do you want to obey? So you don't just obey because the fellow is old. You obey because the fellow is led by the Spirit of God. You obey God and you obey those that are led by God. Obedience is such a big deal. So you don't just obey anybody simply because of age. You obey because they are led by God. All right? I hope this blesses you, and I hope to see you some other time. Thank you and take care. Bye.